Okay guys. So another accounting video again, another day. Another sakit ng ulo na naman po tayo today. So for now, balikan lang natin yung very basic overview lang ng mga last video discussions natin about taxation. So meron tayong pro forma. Tama, sa income statement natin, which is i-relate natin sa pag-file natin ng income tax return or sa pag-compute na lang natin ng income statement. Meron tayong gross sales. Gross sales plus your non-operating income is equal to your gross income. Tama? Less, minus mo yung mga allowable deductions natin. Mahahanap mo yung tinatawag natin na net taxable income. And as we've discussed, itong net taxable income na to, or yung gross income din natin na to, yan yung basis natin ng income taxation. Okay? Kasi ano ba yung ginagawa natin sa income taxation? Nagbibigay tayo ng buwis, nagbibigay tayo ng tax for every income na nagagawa mo. Okay? Sa lahat ng profit na ginagawa mo, meron daw tayong tax na kailangang bayaran. Ibig sabihin, dito sa income taxation, for every increase of your net worth or for every profit, meron tayong tax na babayaran. Meron kang buwis na babayaran. Parang ang sinasabi lang ng income tax natin, sa lahat ng profit mo, dapat merong share. Una, ikaw, kung ikaw yung nag-render ng service, and pangalawa daw, dapat si government. I-share mo daw yung blessings kay government. Huwag mo naman daw sarilinin yung profit na meron ka. Yun yung income tax natin. Okay, ngayon, tama, natapos din natin yung business tax. And sa business tax natin, ang basis natin is yung gross sales. Na ang sinasabi, for every peso of your sale, sa every transaction or every benta na meron ka, regardless kung may profit or wala, basta nakapagbenta ka, every sale, regardless if there is profit or loss, meron kang kailangang bayaran na tax, which is yung business tax. Sa business tax naman, ang binabayaran mo dyan is your right to conduct a business. Is your right to conduct or to sell something or to render a service into something. Business tax naman yon. Ulitin natin. Dito sa income tax, ano yung tinatax mo? Yung profit na meron ka. Sa business tax, ano yung tinatax mo? Yung every sale na nangyayari. Every sale na ginagawa mo. Regardless kung may profit or wala, kailangan mo magbayad ng tax. Business tax yun. Examples ulit ng business tax natin, nandyan si value added tax, si other percentage tax, and si excise tax. So mag-refer ka na lang sa video discussions natin with regards to income tax and business tax. Kompleto na po tayo dyan. Ngayon, for this video discussion, magfo-focus naman tayo dito sa tinatawag natin na transfer tax. So magkaibang bagay ito sa income and sa business tax. Ibang bagay na si transfer tax. So let's say for example, ikaw ito, okay? Ikaw ito and you are conducting a transaction with another person. Okay, with another person. So let's say for example, ikaw, nagbenta ka sa tao na to. Nagbenta ka. Itong tao na to, syempre anong gagawin? Magbabayad sa'yo. Yung moment na magbenta ka, subject na yan sa business tax. Subject na yan sa VAT, pwedeng subject sa other percentage tax, pwedeng subject sa excise tax. Okay, yan yung business tax. Itong binayad sa'yo ngayon, nitong tao na to, it can withhold income tax. And it pays value added tax. Meron ka ngayong income na hinahawakan, yan yung profit mo ngayon. Yung profit mo na yan or yung income mo na yan, subject yan sa income tax. Okay tayo. Okay ba? Ulitin ko. Ikaw ito, merong transaction with another person. Nagbenta ka. Yung moment na nagbenta ka, subject ka na sa business tax. Ngayon, merong binayad, meron na-receive. So, merong cost, yung cost na binenta mo, plus yung income na na-receive mo, meron ka ngayong profit. Yung profit mo na yon subject sa income tax. Okay. Ngayon, yung amount na binayad sa'yo, yung ibabayad sa'yo, dapat is yung selling price plus yung value added tax. Kung subject ka sa value added tax. In addition, dapat itong tao na to kailangang mag-withhold ng income tax. So, yung marireceive na to, na income natin na to, is net of withholding taxes na. So, nasa income tax na discussion yon. So, yan yung kwento ng business and ng income tax. Ngayon, dito sa transfer tax, let's say for example ulit, ikaw ito, tapos meron ka uling transaction with another person. Nagbigay ka. Okay, nagbigay ka ng kahit ano, ng kung ano man dyan. Nagkaroon tayo ngayon ng transfer. Ano daw yung kapalit na marireceive mo? Dito sa business and income tax, dito naka-receive ka ng something kasi nagbayad sa'yo itong tao na to. Pero dito daw ang ibibigay lang daw sa'yo, salamat lang po. Okay, salamat lang. Thank you lang daw tayo. Yung the moment daw na magbigay ka ng property, tapos nagpasalamat sa iyo itong tao na to, subject ka daw sa tax. Tax daw na tinatawag natin na transfer tax. Dito, yung right mo sa pagbenta yung tinax. Yung dito, yung right mo to transfer your property, yan yung tinatax. Okay, so yun yung transfer tax. Ngayon, si transfer tax natin, dalawa daw. It can be a donor's tax or it can be an estate tax. Estate tax. Si donor's tax, sa batas, tinatawag din siya as donation inter vivo. Si estate tax, tinatawag din natin siya as donation mortis causa. Kaya itong estate tax na to, sir, parang familiar yung estate tax. Tama yun din yung diniscuss natin sa income tax. Yes, that is the same estate tax na sinasabi, pero yung doon sa income tax ulit, ang tinatax mo yung profit ni estate. Dito yung tinatax mo yung pag-transfer ng property ni estate. Okay, yan si transfer tax. So, sa anong difference ng donors tapos ng estate tax? Ito yung equivalent ng donors tax. Yan, nag-transfer ka ng property. Tapos may na-receive ka na salamat. Ngayon, sa estate tax naman, ikaw ito. Or, wag naman ikaw sana. Ito, merong ibang tao. Yung tao na yan, nasa isang kabaong. Kaya nakaganyan na, nakahiga. Tapos meron yan, kabaong. Kasi ngayon sa kabaong, mukha lang yung makikita mo. So, meron tayong kabaong na itong tao na to may naiwang property, nag-transfer sa isang tao. Yung tao na yan, tinatawag natin as the tagapagmana or the heir. Etong pag-transfer natin na to, subject din yan sa transfer tax. Etong pag-transfer na to, kapag merong namatay, subject sa estate tax or yung tinatawag natin na mortis causa. Etong tao na nabubuhay, nag-transfer ng property, nabubuhay naman, meron tinatawag yan as donor's tax. Donation inter vivo. So yun lang yung difference. Simply, to simplify, donor's tax, nag-transfer ng property habang buhay yung nag-transfer. Estate tax, nag-transfer ng property dahil namatay na yung nag-transfer. Okay, so that's the overview. And that's the differences between business tax, income tax, and transfer tax. Sa buong taxation na topic natin, subject natin na di-discuss ng 2 SEMs, yung coverage nun and yung taxation na subject or sa taxation na subject sa board exam, ang composition nun, income tax, business tax, transfer tax, and local taxes. Tapos yung tax remedies. Guys, tapos na tayo sa income tax. Tapos na tayo sa business tax. Pag natapos natin yung transfer tax, madali na yung dalawang natitira. So pagtapos mo na yung transfer tax, basic na sa'yo ang pagsagot or ang taxation sa board exam questions. Dapat na-perfect mo na lahat ng questions dyan. I'm very, very counting on you. Lalo na pag naging estudyante kita and nanonood ka ng video discussion ko, dapat perfect mo lahat ng mga questions na yan. Okay? Madali sa'yo ang taxation. Kasi ang totoo, madali naman talaga siya. Okay? So, dun tayo sa pangatlong topic natin, transfer tax. So, let's focus mainly for this video discussion is about mortis or sa donor's tax or yung inter vivo. So, isulat ko para di mo makalimutan yung ating legal term, inter vivo. Ulitin ko lang ulit, sa donor's tax, dito buhay yung nagbigay. Okay, buhay yung nagbigay. So, let's focus mainly dun sa updates. So, dito guys, meron kasing instances na may mababasa ka sa mga questions na medyo or mapapansin mo, parang hindi yan yung naituro sa'yo. Kasi si taxes natin guys, meron po yung mga updates. Okay, yung mga updates natin, on my case, based sa mga naririnig ko, okay, merong instances na sa board exam, ang question pa rin is naka-train law, which is dapat nasa updated na tayo na tax code. So wala tayong magagawa. Kailangan nating aralin from the old version, from doon sa pinakauna hanggang doon sa mga updates natin. Para pag nakita mo yung questions na yan, ang tinanong sa'yo yung old version, alam mo pa rin sagutan. Okay, pag nakita mo yung new version, mas lalong alam mong sagutan. At least dito sa video discussions and sa pag-aaral natin, alam natin lahat. Yun naman yung goal eh. Dapat alam natin na halos lahat. Okay, para kapag merong bagong question sa'yo, hindi ka mabibigla. Pag merong question na wala yung sagot sa questions mo, iisipin mo lang, baka yung old provision yung ginamit. Okay, yung ginamit mo yung old provision, nakuha mo yung sagot natin. Okay, so i-discuss natin lahat from the old provision up to the new provision, kaya meron tayong updates. Ito yung mga update natin sa donor's tax. First update natin is the tax rate. This is in accordance with the Section 99 of the National Internal Revenue Code. Dati sa National Internal Revenue Code, ito yung old version natin, tapos ito yung newest or yung updated o yung update o yung updated batas natin. Sabi sa tax rate ng Section 99, sabi daw under NIRC, donor's tax is subject to a graduated tax rate. So pag sinabi graduated tax rate, nag-i-increase yung tax rate daw natin. Progressive in nature daw ito. Yan yung graduated tax rate daw na yon is subject sa 2% up to 15%. Kaya meron dito 2 to 15%. So yan sa old provision. Sa new provision naman natin, in accordance with the train law, sabi daw, yung donor's tax daw natin is subject only to a fixed rate of 6%. So, dito, ginawa ng fixed rate, hindi na 2 to 15%. Iisa na lang daw yung rate natin, 6%. 6% of the total gift exceeding 250,000. Ang ibig sabihin nito, sa train law natin, kapag nakita mo yung gift mo, magkano ba yung gift mo? I-less mo lang daw yung 250,000 kasi nga daw, exempted daw yung 250,000. Mahahanap mo yung net gift natin. Let's say for example, merong amount dito. Kapag minultiply mo yan sa 6% na fixed rate natin, mahahanap mo yung donor's tax due. Kung magkano yung babayaran mong donor's tax. Ganyan lang kasimple ang pag-compute. Kaya madali lang itong transfer tax eh. Kasi ganyan lang yan. Wala kang kailangan i-memorize na madaming tax rate. Okay? Wala kang kailangan i-memorize na tax rate, 6% lang yan, unlike sa corporations or unlike sa income taxation natin na maraming tax rates. Okay, dito simple lang, 6% lang yan, donor's tax. Sir, parang yung 6% familiar. Tama yan din yung sa capital gains tax? Yes, kaya kung mapapansin mo, kapag nag-transfer ka ng property, usually ang tax rate natin is at 6%. Sale of real property that's classified as capital asset, 6%. Donor's tax, 6%. Mamaya, dito sa estate tax, sa another video discussion natin, 6% din yung tax rate niyan. So, madaling tandaan ang rate. 6% lang yan. Ito lang yung tatandaan mo kapag donor's tax. Si donor's tax, merong fixed deduction of 250,000. Kasi yung 250,000 po na yan, hindi yan applicable sa estate tax. Itong 250,000 na yan, hindi din yan applicable sa capital gains tax. Yung 250,000 na yan, applicable lang yan dito sa donor's tax. Fixed deduction po yan. Fixed deduction na hindi sasabihin sa problem, pero dapat alam mo dyan sa utak mo. Meron dapat tayong deduction of 250,000 or exempted daw yung first 250,000 ng donations na binigay mo. Okay. Next update natin. In accordance with the old provision of NIRC, sabi daw meron tayong tinatawag na mga regalo or mga gift natin na binibigay daw sa mga strangers. Kapag strangers dito, hindi mo naman daw kadugo. This is in accordance also with Section 99 na sinasabi daw, kapag daw nagregalo ka daw sa hindi mo ka daw kadugo, sabi daw yung tax rate mo daw, instead na 2% to 15%, sabi daw, fixed rate daw siya dapat of 30%. Kapag strangers. Okay? Pag strangers. Pero dito, in accordance with the train law, regardless daw kasi, regardless kung nagbayad ka or nag-donate ka sa stranger or sa kamag-anak mo, fixed rate natin is at 6%. Ibig sabihin, hindi na applicable itong 30% na provision natin na to. Wala nang donations to strangers. Lahat na yan, donations man, regardless to from kay stranger or sa mga kadugo mo, subject ka sa 6% na exempted ulit up to 250,000. Okay, so nawala itong provision na gift to strangers sa train law natin. Yun yung updated. Okay natin. Next, dito sa bagong update natin is the transfer for insufficient consideration. This is in accordance with Section 100. Dito sa old provisions natin, wala kasi yung nasa new provision. So walang update or walang pagbabago, walang binago dito sa transfer for insufficient consideration. Ang nangyari lang, nagkaroon lang tayo ng additional provision. So nadagdagan lang yung batas. Sabi naman daw dito sa batas natin, it is not considered as a transfer for insufficient consideration if it is a bona fide transaction, it is within arm's length, and it is free from donative intent. So ganyan daw ang nangyari. Sir, ano ba ibig sabihin ng transfer for insufficient consideration? Parang hindi ko siya naiintindihan masyado. So ganito ang nangyari dyan. Let's say for example, ito ulit, yung kaninang illustration natin, merong tao. Okay, nag-transfer ng property. Pero nung nag-transfer daw siya ng property, itong tao daw na ito, nagbenta daw or nagbayad daw. Okay, unlike kanina, dito, nag-transfer, thank you lang na-receive mo. Dito, nag-transfer, may kapalit. Nagbayad ngayon. Ngayon, let's say for example, yung fair market value ng property natin is nasa 1 million pesos. Pero yung binayad sa'yo is nasa 200,000 pesos lang. Parang sinasabi na insufficient daw yung na-receive mo na 200,000. So parang ang nangyayari dito, sige, para hindi tayo mas-subject sa 6% of donor's tax, bayaran mo lang ako kahit piso, kahit maliit lang. 200,000 daw ang nangyari. So, meron tayong difference na 800,000. Sabi daw, yung 800,000 is considered as an insufficient consideration. Yes, nagbayad ka ng 200,000. Yung sobrang 800,000, yung insufficient consideration, this is considered as a donation. Ganyan daw ang nangyari. Yung 1 million yung binigay mong property, 200,000 lang ang pinabayaran sa'yo, yung 800,000 na binigay mo sa kanila, considered daw siya as a donation. Okay, donation, so itong 800,000 na to, subject yan sa 6% of donor's tax. Okay tayo. Sir, ano nangyari doon sa 200,000 na nabayaran? Yung 200,000 po na nabayaran, subject na lang yan sa income tax. Okay, kung meron man tayong income, subject na lang yan sa income tax. Sir, sa business tax, sir, tapos sa income tax, kung mapapansin mo, kapag nagbenta ako, subject ako sa business tax. Tapos yung profit ko, subject ako sa income tax. Tama po ba? Pwede ako mas-subject sa income tax and sa business tax ng sabay. Yes, that is true. Sir, sa transfer tax, sir, pwede ba akong mas-subject sa business tax kapag transfer tax? No, hindi pwede. Sir, pag na-transfer tax, pwede ba akong mas-subject sa income tax and sa transfer tax? No, hindi rin po pwede. Bakit? Kasi dito sa income tax and sa business tax, dito nagkaroon ka ng transfer, yes, pero meron kang na-receive na kapalit. Dito sa transfer tax po, nag-transfer ka ng property, pero wala kang nare-receive na something. Sa transfer tax natin, it is very important na dapat meron tayong gratuitous transfer. Okay, ibig sabihin, kusang loob mong binigay na wala kang hinihinging kapalit. Si business tax kasi natin, tapos si income tax, ang tawag dyan is a onerous transaction. Okay, so kapag ang isang tao na subject na sa donor's tax, it is not considered as an income tax and it is not subject to income tax. Kaya kung marirecall mo yung video discussion natin about gross income sa inclusions and exclusions, one of the exclusion na diniscuss natin sa gross income natin is, di ba, yung one of the exclusion dapat sa gross income natin is yung gift, bequest, and yung device. Tama? Ibig sabihin, kapag naka-receive ka na niregalo lang naman sa'yo, hindi daw yun income. Hindi daw yun subject sa income tax. Saan daw kasi yun subject? Sa transfer tax. Once na subject ka sa transfer tax, such transaction is not subject to income tax. Sir, hindi ba ako subject sa business tax kapag nagbigay ako ng regalo? No, kasi ano ulit yung sinasubject mo sa business tax? Every sale. Nagbenta ka ba? No, nag-transfer ka lang. So, magkaibang bagay, si business tax at si income tax, yes, pwede sila magkasabay na ma-tax. Pero once sa subject ka dito, madalang or napakabihira na masubject ka rin sa transfer tax. Once subject ka sa transfer tax, bihira ulit na masubject ka sa income tax and mas lalong masubject sa business tax. Okay, so dito ulit, balikan natin, transfer for insufficient consideration. Yung subject lang sa donor's tax, yung binigay lang sa'yo na regalo. Yung deemed gift lang natin, which is yung insufficient sa consideration. Yung 200,000, subject yan sa business tax pag trade or under trade in ordinary course of business or subject sa income tax. Okay, ulitin ko lang yung kwento sa insufficient consideration, nag-transfer ka ng may kapalit. Pero yung kapalit na na-receive mo, konti lang. So, yung ibang na-receive mo, na parang nangyari, nag-thank you ka. Nung nag-thank you ka, may gratuitous transfer subject saan? Sa transfer tax. Specifically for donors tax. Okay? Sana malinaw. Sana po malinaw. So, last update natin under donors tax. Ito daw. Certain gift exemptions. In the old provision daw kasi sabi, any dowries, gifts made on account of marriage by parents to each of their legitimate, recognized, natural, adopted children to the extent of first 10,000 pesos shall be exempt. Sir, mahaba, hindi ko masyadong naintindihan. In short, ang sinabi lang dito, kapag daw yung magulang mo, nagbigay daw sa'yo ng 10,000 or hindi daw sumobra ng 10,000 pesos yung binigay sa'yo. Bakit ka daw binigyan? Kasi kinasal ka daw. Regardless daw, kung ikaw daw is an adopted children or a natural child or their natural children, sabi daw, it is exempted. Exempted ulit up to 10,000. What are the requirements? Number 1 requirement, dapat merong marriage. Number 2 requirement, dapat the amount does not exceed 10,000 pesos. Ibig sabihin, pag nagregalo dahil sa kasal, tapos yung regalo hindi sumobra ng 10,000 pesos or sinasabi na yung first 10,000 pesos is exempted sa donors tax. First na lang to. Alisin na lang natin yung does not. Lagyan na lang natin first 10,000 pesos. Sir, what if yung naregalo sa akin 15,000 pesos? Ibig sabihin po ba, pag niles ko yung 10,000 pesos, merong excess na 5,000, yung 5,000 imumultiply ko ng 6% para mahanap ko yung donors tax? Ganyan po ba ang mangyayari? Yes, ganyan po ang mangyayari. Ang exempted lang is the first 10,000 pesos, hindi yung buong 15,000. Ulitin ko lang, exempted lang ulit yung first 10,000 kapag nagregalo sa kasal. Regardless kung inampon, regardless kung natural na anak. Which is itong certain exception na to, na 10,000 pesos sa kasal, inalis po yan sa train law natin. So wala na yan as of today. Nung old provision lang po yan. Sir, kailan po ba effective ang train law? Effective po yan beginning January 1, 2018. So, 2026 na ngayon, 2018 pa po yan effective. Okay, so sana malinaw. Yan lang yung mga updates under donors tax. So, let's move on sa kung ano talagang laman ng donors tax. Meron tayong pro forma computation po sa pag-compute ng donors tax. So, ito lang yan. Hanapin mo lang magkano yung gross gift. Okay, magkano ba yung niregalo mo? I-plus mo lang magkano yung mga niregalo mo dati. Okay, prior gift natin as long as same year. So, bakit merong prior gift as of same year? Ito yung lagi mong tatandaan. Sa pag-compute natin ng donors tax o sa pag-file natin ng donors tax, dapat naka-cumulative po tayo. Cumulative filing. Pag sinabing cumulative filing, ulit, kapag for example, meron kang binenta or meron kang donation ng January 1, yung donation mo ng January 1, taxable yun sa donors tax. Let's say for example, nag-donate ka ng February. Yung donation mo from February plus yung donation mo sa January, yun yung total na donation na i-report mo by February. Kaya dito, i-add natin lahat ng prior gift mo sa iisang taon. Okay, pag gross gift plus prior gift is equal to the total gross gift this year. Yan yun. Okay, yan yung total gross gift mo this year. I-less mo yung mga exception. I-less mo yung mga exception and exclusions. Na lagi mong tatandaan, meron ditong 250,000. Mahahanap mo yung net gift. Net gift natin, multiply by the 6% of tax rate, mahahanap mo yung donors tax. Let's say for example, nagbayad ka na ng donors tax mo doon sa mga donations mo last year. So, i-less mo lang yung donors tax paid in prior donation. Parang ito yung income tax paid. Okay, kung i-relate mo sa pag-compute natin ng income tax, parang ito yung income tax na binayaran mo in your previous quarter. Same lang din yan dito, para lang siyang tax credit, mahahanap mo yung donors tax still due or the donors tax payable. Okay, yan yung pro forma natin. Sir, lagyan natin ng illustration. Sige, lagyan natin ng illustration para mas ma-materialize natin. Let's say for example, nag-donate ka ng January, 300,000. Nag-donate ka din ng month of February of 400,000. And nag-donate ka in the month of December ng 500,000. Sir, magkano yung kailangan kong bayaran na donation or donors tax by January? So, by January, magkano yung gross gift mo? 300,000. Wala namang sinabi na meron kang prior gift. So yung 300,000, yan na yan. 300,000 plus 0, this is equal to 300,000. Yung 300,000, yan yung total gross gift mo during this year. Okay, eto yan. I-less mo yung 250,000 kasi wala namang sinabing other exception. So yung nag-iisang exception lang natin is up to 250,000. So yung net gift natin is 50,000. I-multiply mo yan by 6%. 50,000 times 60%. This is equal to 3,000 pesos. Yan yung donor's tax mo natin. Meron ka bang binayaran in the previous year? Wala naman kasi nga wala ka namang dinonate in the previous month pala. Previous month. So dapat guys, iisang taon ha. Iisang taon. So dito, year 2026 lang. Nag-donate ka ng January 2026. Sir, nag-donate ako ng December 31, 2025. Hindi na muna po yan kailangan isama dito sa prior gift natin. Kasi sabi nga ulit dito, dapat sa iisang taon. Yung lahat ng donations mo na 2025, hindi na po yun kasama. Okay, meron kang donor's tax na 3,000. Wala ka namang donor's tax paid during this year. So yung donor's tax still due or payable natin is nasa 3,000 pesos. Ganyan lang po yan. Ganyan lang kadali si donor's tax. Ganyan lang yan kadali. So February natin. Yung February mo, magkano yung gross gift mo ng February? 400,000. Magkano yung dinonate mo in the previous month na with the same year? So year 2026, noong January, nag-donate ka. So meron kang additional gross gift dito or prior gift mo in the same year natin na 300,000. Yung total gross gift natin is nasa 700,000. I-less mo yung mga exclusions natin. Yung fixed na exclusion ulit natin is 250,000. So 700 less 250,000. This is equal to 450,000. Times mo ng 6%. 450 times 6%, meron kang kailangang bayaran na tax of 27,000. Tandaan mo, meron kang 3,000 na binayaran last month. So, kailangan mo i-claim yan as quarterly tax payment natin. So, or parang tax payment natin in the previous gift. So, 27 less 3, yung babayaran mo lang by February is nasa 24,000. So, repeat the process lang tayo by December. Magkano yung dinonate mo ng December? 500,000. Magkano iba yung mga prior gift mo in the previous month, in the same year? Meron kang 700,000. Yung 700,000 nanggaling yan dito. Tapos meron magkano yung total gross gift natin? Nasa 1,200,000. I-less mo lang ulit yung exception natin na 250,000. 1,200,000 less 250,000. This is equal to 950,000 of net gift. Multiply mo lang yan by 6%, meron kang kailangang bayaran na 57,000. Na lagi mong tatandaan, nabayaran mo na yung 3,000 ng January, nabayaran mo na yung 24,000 ng February, so nakapagbayad ka na ng 27,000 this year or in the previous months. So 57 less 27,000, yung babayaran mo lang by December is nasa 30,000 pesos. Yan yung sinasabi na cumulative. Okay, lahat ng gift mo in the previous month during the same year, lahat yun i-report mo kapag nag-donate ka ng nag-donate. So let's say for example, nag-donate ako ulit ng March pero 2027. Yung dinonate ko nasa 500,000. Magkano yung i-report ko na gross gift? 500,000. Ipa-plus ko po ba yung mga dinonate ko ng December na 500,000? Hindi na po. Hindi na. Kasi nga as a rule, dapat nasa iisang taon. 2027 ito, 2026 na donations ito, hindi na ngayon kasama itong donations natin na to by 2027. So that is the rule. So ganyan lang mag-compute ng donor's tax. Ganyan lang kadali mag-compute ng donor's tax. Okay, so medyo daanan natin ng batas. So what is donor's tax para mas maintindihan natin? Meron ka daw requisites. Okay, to be taxable in a donor's tax, meron kang requisites para maklaim mo siya as taxable talaga in the donor's tax. Meron tayong mnemonic dyan, yan na po yan, addict na po. Okay, A stands for the acceptance by the donee. So, dapat i-accept yan ni donee. Meron tayong donor, yun yung nagbigay. Si donee, yun yung pinagbigyan. Dapat daw, acceptance by the donee. Bakit? Kasi in accordance with the Article 725 of the Civil Code that sabi, no one shall be compelled to accept the generosity of another. If it is not accepted, then it will be nulled and void. Dapat i-accept. Kasi nga ang sinasabi, hindi mo pwedeng pilitin ang isang tao na i-accept ang isang bagay na ayaw naman niyang tanggapin. Okay, wag mo silang pilitin na tanggapin yung ayaw nilang tanggapin. Kasi merong instances na sinasabi, bakit? Thank you na nga lang ang kailangan ko, bakit ayaw mo pang kunin? Kasi yung ibang tao, sinaging sinasabi na wala namang binibigay ng libre. Wala na pong libre ngayon. So kapag nagbigay ng libre sa'yo yan, possible na ang iniisip, meron kang utang na loob sa kanila. Merong mga tao na ayaw magkaroon ng utang na loob. Yes, walang babayaran, pero merong utang na loob. Ayaw nila yon, kaya ang nangyayari, hindi sila tumatanggap ng kahit na ano, sa kahit na kanino, kahit na sabihin pa nilang walang kapalit yan. In accordance with Article 725, hindi mo pwede, ng civil code to, civil code po, hindi ng tax code. Sinabi yan si civil code na hindi mo pwedeng pilitin ang isang tao na tumanggap ng kahit na ano sa kaninong tao pa yan. Kapag hindi yan tinanggap, walang nangyaring donation. Ulitin ko, kapag hindi tinanggap, wala pong nangyaring donation, the donation is nulled and void. So, kailangan, para matax sa donor's tax, dapat inaccept ni Donnie. Pangalawa, dapat hindi lang inaccept, dapat daw nagkaroon ng actual or ng constructive delivery of gift. Okay, bakit sir? Kasi sabi daw, donation is a contract or a contract of donation is a real contract. So sinabi sa obligations and contracts natin, kapag real contract ulit, anong ibig sabihin? Dapat daw magkaroon daw tayo ng actual or constructive delivery. So ano ibig sabihin ng actual? Pag sinabing actual, let's say for example, nag-donate ka ng kotse. Dapat yung kotse nakikita or natanggap talaga mismo ni Donnie. Yun yung actual delivery. So ano ibig sabihin ng constructive? Hindi ko natanggap mismo yung kotse, pero natanggap ko yung isang bagay that it resembles the car. Let's say for example, yung susi. Hindi ko pa natanggap yung kotse, pero nasa akin na yung susi. So parang sinasabi, hindi ko natanggap in actual yung kotse, pero constructively narinig ko or na-receive ko yung donation, which is yung kotse. So ulitin ko lang, dapat dineliver. Regardless kung actual or constructive, basta as long as na-deliver. Dapat dineliver yung regalo. Ulitin ko, dapat na-deliver yung regalo and in addition, dapat inaccept ni Donnie in order for a donation or for a transfer be considered as a donation and be taxable to donor's tax. Pangatlo, yung I, dapat daw merong donative intent. Kapag wala namang donative intent, syempre ibig sabihin, hindi siya donation. But it is not always essential. Okay, ibig sabihin na hindi always essential, hindi dapat laging meron donative intent. Let's say for example kasi, dito, sa transfer for insufficient consideration, ang nangyayari dito, nagbigay ka ng 1 million, nagbenta ka, na-receive mo 200,000. So wala ka namang donative intent. Ang intention mo talaga dyan, magbenta. Pero nagbenta ka ng palugi. So hindi laging essential na merong donative intent. Okay, hahanapin mo lang muna para lang maging considered siya as donor's tax. Pero it is not always essential for it to be considered as a donor's tax. So kahit mawala yan, let's say for example dito sa transfer for insufficient consideration, wala naman itong donative intent, still it is considered as a donor's tax with regards to the insufficient consideration. Okay, letter C. C stands for the capacity of donor to donate. So this is in accordance with Article 737 of the new Civil Code. That sinasabi, donor's capacity shall be determined as of the time of the making of the donation. Bakit? Bakit kailangan capacity of the donors to donate? Parang sinasabi, let's say for example ako, nag-donate ako ng isang bahay na nakalocate sa Lingayen, Pangasinan. Wala naman talaga akong bahay. O, sinabi ko, binibigay ko sa iyo yung bahay na ito. Okay, binibigay ko sa itong bahay na ito na nakalocate sa Lingayen, Pangasinan. Hindi naman sa iyo yung bahay na binibigay mo eh. Sinasabi mo lang na binibigay mo sa kanya pero hindi naman siya sa iyo. So wala kang capacity to donate. Ano i-donate mo kung wala naman talaga sa iyo yung property? Kung hindi naman talaga sa iyo yung property? Kung wala ka naman talagang capacity to donate. So it is very important. Dapat may capacity to donate. Una, dapat i-accept. Pangalawa, dapat dineliver. Pangatlo, dapat may capacity to donate. Okay, meron ng instances na pwede dapat hinahanap yung intention to donate pero it is not always essential in order for it to be taxable to donor's taxation. Okay tayo. Okay. Okay, very good. Next, in addition sa mga donations, meron tayong mga tinatawag na void or voidable donations. Dito, ang nangyayari dito, yes, nag-transfer ka. Anong na-receive mo nung nag-transfer ka? Thank you lang. Okay, pero sabi daw, it is void. And possible, it is only voidable. Okay, yung void and voidable, i-discussion na lang yan under RFBT na topic. Okay, magkaiba yung void and voidable. Pero doon nyo na lang i-discuss yan. But just to give you a quick background dun sa mga walang RFBT pa na subject, pag sinabing void dito, as if walang nangyaring transaction. Pag sinabing voidable, the transaction is valid, the donation is valid unless sinabi na void siya. Unless merong nagreklamo and sinabi na i-void namin to. Voidable. Ang ibig sabihin lang, merong transaction na pwedeng i-void. Pwedeng mapawalang bisa. Ito naman, yung transaction na ito, from the start pa lang, wala na talagang bisa. Okay? So number 1. Sabi daw, if or the donation or the transfer of personal property. Kapag nag-donate ka daw dapat kasi ng personal property, which is movable, titignan mo daw muna magkano yung value. Kung yung value daw ng personal property mo is more than 5,000 pesos, dapat daw yung personal property mo shall be made in writing. Dapat yung pag-transfer, dapat daw nakasulat. Parang sinasabi, merong kontrata. Okay? Kapag daw, let's say for example, more than 5,000, sir. Walang kontrata. Let's say for example, oral agreement lang. Ano mangyayari? Yung donation is considered as void. As if wala daw donation. Okay, so kapag walang donation, ibig sabihin, wala kang kailangan bayaran na donor's tax. Okay, so what if, sir, equal or less than 5,000? Enough na daw na nagkaroon lang ng oral agreement. Okay, kapag enough na yung oral agreement, ibig sabihin, kapag yung dinonate natin is equal or less than 5,000, such donation is considered as valid. So such donation shall be taxable to donor's tax. So yan yung unang void or voidable donations. Pangalawa, meron tayong tinatawag na transfer of immovable property. So dito personal, dito naman real property. Sabi daw, kapag yung binigay mo daw is a real property, dapat daw it must be in public instrument. Hindi lang daw dapat nakasulat. Hindi lang daw dapat nagkaroon ng oral agreement. Dapat daw naka-public instrument. Okay? And sinabi, it must specify the property donated and the value of charges which the donee must satisfy. Nakasulat daw yan dapat lahat sa public instrument. Okay, number 3. Sabi, void daw yung mga donations between spouses. Okay, pag mag-asawa daw. General rule, it is void. Exception to this rule, kapag yung binigay mo lang daw sa asawa mo is a moderate gift. Okay, sabi daw, simpleng regalo lang daw, which the spouses may give each other on the occasion of any family rejoicing. For example, birthday, anniversary, as any celebration, as long as it is considered as moderate gift. Simpleng regalo lang. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng simpleng regalo? Para namin malalaman kung simple lang yung regalo. Sabi daw, it is subject to interpretation and may depend on the case-to-case basis and the capacity of the donor. Nang sinasabi dito, let's say for example ako, nag-donate ako ng cellphone. Yung cellphone na dinonate ko, sabi ko, normal na donation lang sa akin yan. Or sabihin ko, yung pag-donate ko ng cellphone, malaking bagay na sa akin yan. Kasi mahirap lang naman ako na tao. So yung pag-donate ko ng cellphone, malaking bagay na yun. Kung malaking bagay na daw sa akin yun, hindi na daw yung simpleng bagay. Based sa capacity na meron ako, na as a donor, then such transaction must be subject to donor's tax. Okay? Or such transaction is a void transaction if daw, dinregalo ko siya sa aking asawa. Okay? Void transfer daw yan. Okay, void transfer. Exception daw, kapag daw yung binigay ko daw is a moderate gift. Simpleng, or for example, same pa rin. Let's say for example, ikaw, nagbigay ka ng phone mo sa asawa mo. Yung phone mo na yan, simpleng bagay lang yan sa'yo eh. Kasi ang meron naman akong pera, 1 million peso a month yung sinasahod ko. So maliit na bagay lang sa akin, barya-barya lang sa akin yung pagbigay ng cellphone sa asawa ko. So sinasabi daw, it is considered as moderate gift. Which is, kahit naman, or moderate gift, which is, inaalaw naman daw na pwede daw i-claim mo siya as regalo between your spouses. So that is for the number 3. Number 4, any other donations. Sabi daw, kapag daw nag-donate ka daw between persons who were guilty of adultery and concubinage, so meron mga kabit at the time of donation daw, at the time of donation, it is considered as a void donation. Ibig sabihin, hindi subject sa donor's tax. Considered void daw yun. Ibig sabihin, as if walang nangyaring donation. Letter number 2, those between persons found guilty of the same criminal offense in the consideration thereof. And number 3, to public officers. Okay, pag nagtatrabaho ka daw as a public officer, kahit including yung asawa, including yung mga anak at mga apo, including yung mga nanay at tatay at lolo at lola by reason of his office. Ang ibig sabihin lang dito, kapag daw si public officer daw, naka-receive daw ng kahit ano, okay, kahit na ang naka-receive is yung asawa, yung anak, yung nanay at tatay, sabi daw, such donation is considered as void. Ibig sabihin, hindi subject sa donor's tax. So these are the void and voidable donations. Ngayon, sa donations natin, meron tayong mga tinatawag na exemptions and deductions. So exceptions, it applies to resident citizen, non-resident citizen, and resident alien. Meron tayong mnemonics na, Carter Caps. C stands for charitable, A for accredited NGO, R for religious, T for trust foundation, E for educational institution, R for research institution, P or CU, Q for cultural foundations, R for philanthropic organizations, and S for social welfare corporations. Okay, sabi daw, kapag daw nag-donate ka daw sa mga ganitong tratao o ganitong mga organizations, Carter Caps is considered as exempt sa donor's tax if all the requisites are followed. This is in accordance with the Section 101 of the National Internal Revenue Code. And one of the requisites, dapat daw si donee daw is incorporated as a non-stock, non-profit, and not paying or paying no dividends. Okay, kasi nga dapat charitable. And dapat daw non-stock, non-profit entity. Number 2, dapat daw it is being governed by any trustees. Number 3, dapat daw trustee receives no compensation. So pro bono daw dapat yung nare-receive nitong trustee na to. Number 4, the donee devotes all its income, whether students' fees, gift, donations, subsidies, other forms of philanthropy, to the accomplishment and promotion of purposes enumerated in the Articles of Incorporations. Ay parang sinasabi dito na dapat walang kahit na anong income na napupunta doon sa may-ari ng mga organizations na to. Dapat lahat ng nadodonate sa kanila, lahat ng nare-receive nila, binibigay lang nila sa mga estudyante, sa fees or gift, donation, subsidies, and other forms of philanthropy, na dapat daw it is in accordance with doon sa purposes na nakasulat sa isang articles of or sa kanilang articles of incorporation. And number 5 requisites, dapat daw it is not more than 30% of donation or not more than 30% of donation is used for administrative purposes. So dapat yung na-donate mo daw or yung na-receive mo daw na donation, dapat daw hindi mo daw ginagamit for administrative purposes. Pwede mo daw gamitin for administrative purposes, but up to 30% lang ng total value na na-donate. Okay, yan yung mga exception. Ano ngayon yung mga deductions? Unang deduction natin, sabi daw kapag naka-receive ka daw ng donation, tapos yung na-receive mo daw na donation is merong mortgage. Tapos yung mortgage daw ng property, inassume daw nung naka-receive ng donation. Sabi daw, it is considered as deduction. Let's say for example, yung gift na binigay sa'yo is nasa 1 million pesos. Merong mortgage, ibig sabihin, merong utang dito sa gift na to na nasa 500,000. Question daw, magkano daw yung total gift natin? Yung total gift na na-receive mo daw is nasa 500,000 lang kapag inassume mo. Kapag ikaw yung magbabayad ng mortgage. Sir, paano pag hindi inassume ni donee yung mortgage? Magkano yung gift natin? Yung gift natin is nasa 1 million pesos pa rin. So, ano mangyayari dun sa mortgage? Yung mortgage, binayaran yun nung donor. Okay, ibig sabihin, the moment na i-transfer yung gift, yung total na income na, or total na gift na na-receive ni donee is nasa 1 million pesos. Unlike dito sa unang scenario natin, yung total gift na na-receive lang is 500,000. Kasi doon sa 1 million pesos na gift, babayaran naman or i-reimburse lang ni donee yung 500,000 in a form of paying its mortgage. Okay, that's what number 1 deduction says. Number 2, amount specifically provided by donor as diminution on the property donated. So, ang sinabi lang dito, kung meron daw amount na specifically parang ibibigay daw ni donee kay donor, then it is a deduction. Okay, and number 3, gift made to national government, any entities created by any of its agency which is not conducted for profit or any political subdivisions. And number 4, yung 250,000 annual exceptions. So yan lang yung mga deductions. 4 lang yan, mabilis lang tandaan, unlike sa income taxes na sobrang dami mong kailangang tandaan. So madali lang talaga si donor's tax. Okay? Next, last concept natin. Merong instances na nagdo-donate daw tayo sa mga candidate o sa mga political parties. So, election daw. Sabi daw, lahat daw ng donation mo sa mga electorate or sa mga candidate, yung mga tumatakbong politician, sabi daw, it is exempt from donor's tax if such donation is utilized or spent during the campaign period. For example, naka-receive si Mayor. Si Mayor tatakbo ulit, naka-receive ng 1 million pesos. Yung 1 million pesos daw, exempted daw yan sa government kapag daw nagamit yung 1 million pesos na yan during the campaign period. Ginamit lang din niya sa pangangampanya. Okay, dapat daw ongoing yung pangangampanya. Kasi kapag daw yung 1 million pesos ginamit daw niya bago daw yung campaign period or after nung campaign period, sabi daw, it is subject to donor's tax. Kasi sasabihin mo, may na-receive si Mayor na 1 million. Ginamit mo ba? Yes, ginamit ko. Tanungin mo muna, kailan mo ba ginamit? Ginamit ko po yan bago ako nangampanya. Ginamit pero nagamit ko. Kaso bago bang mangampanya, then it is taxable to donor's tax. Ginamit ko after mangampanya, nagamit ko naman sir. Hindi, wala akong pakialam. Taxable pa rin yan sa donor's tax. Sir, nagamit ko siya during campaign period. Ginamit ko siya mismo doon sa time na pwede akong mangampanya. Then such 1 million pesos is exempt sa donor's tax. Okay? Ngayon, a rule is that if corporation, regardless kung domestic or foreign corporation, siya daw yung nag-donate, corporation daw yung nag-donate, sabi daw, it is still subject to donor's tax. So, ibig sabihin, itong exception na sinasabi dito, dapat daw ang makakapag-donate daw dapat ito, ang nag-donate daw dapat nito is si individual, isang individual taxpayer. Kasi kapag ang nag-donate daw is a corporation, regardless kung domestic or foreign corporation, such donor is subject to donor's tax. Nakuha? Okay. In addition, merong instances na, sir, yung 1 million pesos hindi ko nagamit lahat. Ang nagamit ko lang dyan is nasa 800,000. So, meron akong 200,000 na hindi nagamit. Ano daw gagawin ko sa 200,000 na yan? Subject po ba yan sa donor's tax? Hindi na. Okay, itong 200,000 daw na ito, subject na daw yan sa income tax. It is considered as income on your part. Okay, tayo. Okay. Okay, next. So, dito, summary lang. If the donation to a political party or a candidate to a politics, sabi daw, if it is utilized, tanongin mo daw, kanino daw ba nanggaling yung donation? Pag nanggaling daw sa corporation yung donation, then it is taxable to donor's tax. Pag nanggaling daw kay individual yung donation, tanongin mo daw muna, kailan nagamit yung donation? Sir, nagamit ko siya before campaign period, subject sa donor's tax. Sir, nagamit ko siya during campaign period, exempted sa donor's tax. Sir, subject or nagamit ko siya after campaign period, subject sa donor's tax. Okay? Kapag naman unutilized, yung portion na hindi naman nagamit, tanongin mo daw kung nanggaling sa individual taxpayer or sa corporate taxpayer. Regardless daw kung nanggaling sa individual or sa corporate, then it is subject to income tax. Yung unutilized portion. Kung magkano yung hindi nagamit. Okay? Filing natin. Kapag donor's tax, you are required to file using BIR Form 1800. Yan yung tinatawag natin na donor's tax return and it must be filed every 30 days after the date the gift is made. Pay as you file po tayo. Pag sinabing pay as you file, kapag nag-file ka ng donor's tax return, magbabayad ka din daw doon dapat. Kapag kasi hindi mo binayaran yung donor's tax return po na yan, hindi mo po mariregister yung pangalan mo sa Registry of Deeds. Ibig sabihin, hindi matatransfer sa pangalan mo yung property. Ulitin ko lang ulit dito sa filing natin, dapat we are filing using a cumulative basis. Or on a cumulative basis. Ibig sabihin lang ulit ng cumulative, yung donation mo from previous month as long as within the same year, it is taxable also on the next month or on the next donation mo po. Cumulative po tayo. Yung donation 1 mo, taxable din yon the moment na magkaroon ka ng donation 2. Pero yung tax na binayaran mo sa donation 1, then it is considered as a tax credit or a tax deduction sa usapang donor's tax due. So that's all for donor's tax. Sabi sa inyo, madali lang. Medyo mahirap sa estate tax po, pero sa next video discussion na lang natin yon. So just to recap, dito sa pro forma po natin, ulitin lang natin, kaya mabilis o madali lang si donor's tax natin, is hahanapin mo lang magkano yung gross gift. Ipa-plus mo lang kapag meron kang prior gift. Dapat on the same year. Mahahanap mo yung total gift this year. Less mo lang yung mga exemptions or exclusions. 4 lang yan. And yung lagi mo lang tatandaan is yung 250,000. Yung isa sa exceptions or exclusions natin is yung mortgage na ina-assume ni Donnie. Okay? Mahahanap mo yung net gift times 6% is equal to the donor's tax less donor's tax paid kung meron ka mang na-report dito sa prior gift natin dito, mahahanap mo yung donor's tax payable natin. So that's it for donor's tax. Sana natutunan. Kapag hindi sana natutunan, sana nakahabol, sana nakakatch up lahat, sana naintindihan lahat ng discussion. That's it for today. Donor's taxation. Let's move on to the next video discussion about estate taxation. Yun lang muna. God bless, good luck, and ciao!